What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another episode of Player Ratings. It was a very hard-fought victory at Molineux on Sunday, a 1-0 victory against Wolverhampton, against a very good Wolverhampton side, you've got to say that. And you've got to feel for Wolves, actually. 2 good games they've played this season and both 1-0 losses, but I'm not going to dwell too much on that because I'm very happy with the 3 points yesterday. So let's get straight into it, and let's start off with Hugo Lloris. We gave him an 8. And first of all, before we get into the rating, I want to say congratulations to a Tottenham legend in Hugo Lloris. 300 appearances in our colours in the Premier League, and that is a new club record, beating, going ahead of Darren Anderton. So big up to Hugo, and he definitely celebrated that with a great performance at Molineux yesterday. We gave him an 8, as you saw on screen. The only real save he really made was from when Adama went storming through on goal. I think that was the only time he really got tested. But I thought anything that came his way he dealt with, and I thought his distribution was really second to none. And I felt that since Nuno has come, his distribution has really stepped up a notch.
Yeah, I've noticed that in pre-season a few times he was playing these long passes, and you're thinking, hello, Hugo. I haven't seen that from you.
It's taken for his last season at Spurs.
Yeah, but I don't know if you noticed, they seem to be... when he's drop kicking it, that's where the good distribution comes up, like on the ground. But brilliant for him to get 300 Premier League appearances. Fantastic achievement, and goes down the record books as our highest ever Premier League appearance maker now. So fantastic stuff from him. I thought he was a massive part of the clean sheet. I thought he made some crucial saves, especially the one from Adama Traore, as you said, the one-on-one. That was a crucial save to get us the 3 points. I don't think we win the game if it wasn't for that save, and nearly got a great assist as well. And there were a few times where he had to make some saves that looked easy, but actually, he did well to hang on to it. For example, Ruben Neves' volley, which was about 25 yards out, and he did well to hang on to that. And everything he did was great, and I think he was our man of the match. So great day for Hugo, great clean sheet, and congratulations to him.
They actually gave Dele man of the match, Spurs. I thought it was Hugo, but let's move on to Japhet Tanganga. We gave him a 5, unfortunately. Me personally, I think maybe a 6 would have been more fair, but I think he was given an absolutely torrid time from Adama Traore. He was absolutely skinning him time and time again on that left-hand side. But I think after the initial kind of skinning, especially in that first half, I thought he definitely dealt with a lot of things that came his way. I was impressed with the way he was doing his defensive role, as well, coming back into a back 3 as well at times. So I'm not too going to mark Tanganga too harshly about how he was dealing with Adama, because I think anyone kind of deals with that kind of in a similar way. I mean, who can match Adama for pace like that? Who can match him for physicality? There's no one else in the Premier League that can. So it's harsh to mark him down too much for that. But I do think it was an okay display from Jaff.
I wasn't disappointed, but I think he struggled. I do think he struggled quite badly against Adama, but not just in how he was getting skinned on the left-hand side, but I think his approach was all wrong. I think he was getting way too aggressive against him. I think with Tanganga's physical abilities, maybe he could have done a good job maybe standing off a bit and making Adama do some of the work. Because I feel like a lot of the time he made Adama's decision-making for him by being so aggressive. I think he went for the same approach he did against Sterling and Grealish, and it didn't quite come off in this game. But I have sympathy, because he can do that to anyone on his day, and it's not completely Tanganga's fault. But I did think he struggled. But I wasn't so disappointed with that. It was more to do with his on the ball. I didn't think he was very good on the ball. Not that anyone particularly was, to be fair, but I think he particularly struggled quite badly to kind of play out the back or find a pass when he was on the right-hand side. That was a bit disappointing. But one good thing I would say is he got a yellow card early on, and he played for 90 minutes and had to be very, very disciplined to kind of manage the situation, especially with Adama facing him in the second half and knowing he's on a yellow card. And I think he managed that situation fairly well. So I'll give him points for that, but I do think by and large he did struggle.
All right, let's move on to Davinson Sanchez. We gave him a 7. I thought it was another good display from Davinson. I thought he was commanding. I thought he was playing a few nice pings as well over the top. Davinson Sanchez was, but on a whole, you can't really mark him too much down for anything. I think there was maybe one mistake in there when he let Raul Jimenez in, but apart from that, I think was a good display from Big Dave.
Yeah, another good display, and I think the number of times you see him putting his body on the line, throwing himself in front of shots. I think he had 4 block shots throughout the whole game, which is more than anyone else, and I think Jimenez struggled to get away from him. There was a few times he tried to help out Tanganga on the right hand side, and Traore was able to skim past both of them. And you're thinking, oh, he's out of position, but we managed to cope. And again, I thought no screw ups, no big screw ups anyway. And by and large, a very effective display. And I think dealt with a lot of crosses that came in as well. So I was happy with Davinson yet again.
Yeah, which moves us on to Eric Dier. We gave him a 7 as well. Look, you can't really fault Eric Dier for his display yesterday. I thought, again, he put in a really good shift. Aerial presence was brilliant. The amount of blocks and challenges he put in as well, absolutely brilliant. The only blot on his performance really is when he tried to play it through the midfield and he got caught, which led to that Adamar going through on goal. I would say that if that did go in and if Adamar did finish that, then a lot of people would be digging into Eric Dier for his performance yesterday because of that one mistake. But it didn't go in. Brilliant save from Hugo Lloris, and it won us the game really, because if that goes in, you never know what could have happened. But look, I think that Eric Dier, he put in a good display. But like many performances last year, you know, he put in good displays, and there's one kind of mistake led to a goal and it kind of ruined the game for us, and that could have easily happened yesterday.
Yeah, I agree, and he got lucky in that situation, but by and large another good display from Eric Dier as well. You've got to say him and Sanchez are performing well together. Again, a lot of really good blocks and interceptions, especially from crosses coming from the right hand side. He was able to get a foot on it and either put it behind or make sure it doesn't get to the striker. Jimenez again couldn't get very similar to Sanchez, couldn't really get away from him. He didn't win one header, I don't think, the whole game. Jimenez, I think Dier and Sanchez were completely dominant in the air, and I think whenever Trincao was cutting inside on Reguilon, he dealt with that fairly effectively as well. So only disappointment was maybe his on the ball. His on the ball, not potential, but quality, wasn't able to kind of play out the back effectively, and I felt like he was reluctant to play into midfield. He always, same with Sanchez, always went long, and that was a disappointment.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just them or if that was the instructions from Nuno, which we don't know. We'll never know. But let's also he nearly scored as well with that header from the corner,
nearly,
which was a good save. But let's move on to Sergio Reguilon. We gave him a 7. Not much came down his side whatsoever. All their attacks were pretty much coming down the other side where Jaffet was. But in terms of Reguilon, I thought it was a good display from him. Defensively good again. He didn't have that much going forward, but when he did get forward, I thought it was a good little ball to Ali. Was it to Ali for the penalty?
For the penalty. Great through ball.
Great through ball from Sergio Reguilon. So I think that he's definitely impacting the team well, and he started the season really well, Reguilon.
Yeah, it was our proper one of the only few moments of real quality for us in the final third, and that was produced by Reguilon. It was an inch perfect through ball for Dele, which obviously earned us a penalty and gave us all 3 points. But as you said, I think he dealt with Trincao very well. Trincao couldn't really get away from him too much. He cut inside him a few times, but wasn't able to really get many shots off Trincao. And I think Reguilon did really well. And I think his performance was summed up in the 90th minute, I think, wasn't it? When he's running down the left-hand side tirelessly and he's making sure he puts the ball out of play for a throw, even in the 94th minute, still running his guts out. And I think he put his all for the team in yesterday. And it's another really good display and another good start to this, carrying on his good start to the season for Reguilon.
I don't know what it is, but I feel like Reguilon this season seems a lot more settled in his role. He just seems, for these first 2 performances of the season, I mean, they seem a lot more accomplished than anything we saw from him last season. So I just call on him to carry that on.
I don't know about that.
Like defensively, like he's never put in those 2 kind of defensive displays in a row, especially for us, especially last season.
I remember against Man City pocketed Mahrez last year.
Yeah, and then what did he do the next game? You know what I mean? Like he's
Played
never put this
Arsenal,
consistently.
Pocketed Willian.
Who hasn't pocketed Willian? But look, let's move over to Ollie Skipp. We gave him a 7 as well. 7's all round, everyone.
Come on. You get a 7. You get a 7.
But Ollie Skipp, I thought another really tireless display from him in the middle of the park. Challenges going in everywhere. He was doing that role, shielding the defence. Passes left, passes right, passes behind. Not too many penetrative passes going forward, but I thought that he did a really, really solid job in the middle of the park there. He got booked for an absolutely sensational challenge. I don't know why he got booked there. I thought it was a brilliant challenge, and I thought after that he managed his game really well, not to get that second booking and not to be overly aggressive. But I thought that he put in a really good display, and he looks at home in that Tottenham midfield. Yeah,
again, similar to Tanganga, on a booking, and had to put in a very disciplined display to kind of make sure that he's still aggressive and still defensive, but without being making fouls and things like that. And I thought he balanced it fairly well. I think Neves and Moutinho gave him a tough time. I'm not going to lie. I did think they gave him a really tough time in the centre. Neves, especially, was really dictating things for a lot of the game. But I think he did well to make sure anything on the edge of the box, anything in around that defensive midfield area, he was making sure shots weren't coming off, through balls weren't going through, and he was forcing them out wide, which obviously are getting a lot more joy out wide than they were in the middle. So I think Ollie Skipp will get another accomplished performance from him.
Definitely, which moves on to PierreEmerick Aubameyang. We gave him a 7. I actually thought he was really good. Maybe a 7.5 might have been even more fair. I thought he was a good display in there. Again, tireless running, getting up and down the pitch, helping out Ollie Skipp a lot in the middle there. And yeah, I thought he was a big reason why we didn't concede as well. The amount of challenges going in there from PierreEmerick Aubameyang, and what capped off his performance is that little nutmeg right at the end in the Wolves box, which we should have got a goal from, really. But yeah, good display from Pierre.
Yeah, that would have been contended for goal of the month. That went in because he went for the outside of the boot finish as well, but it got blocked. But yeah, it was a solid display from him. He got a bit lucky. I remember in the beginning of the second half, he tries a little dribble near the edge of the box and he gave it away, and that could have cost us. Luckily, he recovered. And I actually think he was a big part in the second half of why Adama seemed a little quieter in the second, despite the one-on-one, and then he was in the first. I think Højbjerg was coming over and doubling up really, really well with Tanganga, and making sure that Adama wasn't getting as much joy, and making it as easy for him as he did in the first half. So that was really good from Pierre. And I think him and Skipp are working really well together, especially Pierre on the right-hand side. I think is working well. The only thing I'd say is Pierre, we saw a lot more of him maybe in the forward positions against Man City than we did in this game. Maybe it was penned back even more in this game than he was against City, which is something to think about. But I think overall did a good game.
Definitely, which moves us over to Dele Alli. We gave him a 7 as well. Again, a really accomplished performance from Dele Alli in his deeper role now, in his new deeper role in the centre of midfield. I thought, like, the defensive side of his game, the way he was throwing himself at challenges, the way he was getting challenges in, the way he was winning the ball back in the middle of the park was absolutely sensational from Dele Alli. The bad parts of his game were making way too long to make a decision, holding on to the ball to way too long, not really knowing his surroundings, and kind of players nicking it from the back of him and stuff like that, which he really needs to improve on. But if he can improve on that side of his game, and for him to start making attacks from deep in the midfield, I think that we've got we've got an answer to the Dele Alli problems that we've been asking for the last 2-3 years. And I think he's growing in this role. I think it was a better performance than he put in against Man City, but I do think both of them were very, very good displays. So I think Dele is growing in his role. He won the penalty, bought the penalty, shall we say, and slotted it home nicely.
Yeah, well, very confident as well. But you got to say, Dele, he's reinventing himself, and maybe this is part of the reinvention where he's getting the balance. He's just trying to get the balance right. And at the moment, he's being extremely aggressive, extremely defensive. Apart from that late run into the box for the goal, don't remember seeing him in the box at all, really. Apart from
the penalty.
Apart from as well. When Bergwijn should have squared it to him, and he kind of just behind Dele, and he could have slotted it at the back post. Apart from those two moments, didn't see too much of him from an attacking sense, which is with someone like Dele, tad disappointing again. But you've got to say, the effort he's putting in, as you saw just now on screen, 15 duels, which is more than Højbjerg. That's exceptional. That's exceptional especially for someone like Dele Alli, who last season in a different role wasn't putting in half that. So I think Dele's definitely growing into the role, as you say. I think he did a great job for the team. I think he helped out Reguilon really well. and he just needs to improve how he uses the ball and how quickly he makes decisions and how quickly he makes passes and gives off possession and maybe get some interchanges going in midfield, because at the moment he's just a bit too easy to dispossess in the centre midfield, and that's a bit of a problem because it puts us under pressure when he loses the ball, and that's one problem, and we'll get into that in a sec, but with Nuno. But I think once the season grows and the more he grows into this role, I'm sure he'll get used to that.
Yeah, he just dallies a bit too long, doesn't he?
That's
the thing. Steven Bergwijn, we gave him a 7 as well. And actually, much like Steven Bergwijn and much like Dele Alli, the pure kind of work rate that they're giving to the team at the moment, I have no qualms in my mind saying that these two players are going to come good in their roles, because the sheer work that they're putting in, if they carry on working like this, the goals will come and the attacking play and the attacking impetus will come. But in terms of Steven Bergwijn's performance yesterday, I thought he was the best outlet we had going forward. I thought he was direct. I thought he was aggressive. He was taking on his man successfully, but he's still frustrating on his final ball and his end product, I feel, with Steven Bergwijn. There was that lovely bit of skill on the left-hand side, beating 2 or 3 men, which didn't really result to anything. And I think that, look, he's providing really positively to the team. And like I said, he was probably our most positive outlet yesterday, but still frustrating on his end product.
Yeah, a few moments. I think all our good counter-attacking moments all came pretty much from Bergwijn. He was our biggest threat for sure. He was the one who was really trying to hurt Wolves. The first time was when he played him. Lucas played him in behind, and he has Dele square. He had to get the ball right there. He delayed it a bit too long, and he ends up playing the ball behind Dele. Chance was gone. Actually, been 2-0 there. When Lloris played the long ball forward on the counter-attack, he had a really good opportunity to dart straight to goal. He decided to cut inside on his right foot, didn't trust his left foot, and instead had a very more difficult chance of just outside the box, causing a save from the keeper when he maybe could have had a one-on-one with the keeper potentially on his left foot. That obviously was a bit disappointing. And then he had that moment you spoke about before, the cuts inside... does that lovely skill on the left-hand side, plays in Harry Kane. Kane probably should have scored himself, to be fair, but he might have been offside. But again, Bergwijn actually with a bit more confidence. I think, first of all, he played the ball at the wrong time for Kane, and second of all, could have used Kane as a decoy to cut inside and score himself.
Played the ball at the wrong time for Ali as well.
Yeah, so a few times. So good. There's good and bad, I guess, when it comes to Bergwijn.
Getting better is the main point.
But he was our most dangerous attacker, and he seems more confident, and he seems to be getting in better positions. And the shots he had, especially the one which he had from outside the box, which forced a save from the keeper, showed a bit better technique than I've seen from him. A bit more finesse on the shot, which is good. So I'm calling on Bergwijn to keep improving, keep going. I'm sure if he keeps going the way he is, he's in for a decent season.
I agree. Which moves us on to Lucas Moura. We gave him a 3, unfortunately.
Maybe he's lucky to get a 3.
To be honest, I don't remember anything positive that he did all game. I thought he was shocking. I thought every time he got the ball, he pretty much lost it. Every time he was running with the ball, he was running down blind alleys and losing the ball. After that brilliant display against Man City, he's followed it up with a shocking one here at Molineux. And that's the kind of problem with Lucas Moura. Every time he has a good display or 2 good displays, he backs it up with one of these displays, and it's very annoying.
Yeah, he didn't seem up for it, did he, at all? Defensively, he got a few tackles in, but he didn't kind of do enough as well. I felt like he kind of left Tanganga high and dry a bit occasionally, in the first half anyway. On the ball, I've never seen him so weak. Usually he's quite strong. He can bounce off people. He can breeze past people.
He seemed knackered, didn't he, from the first minute?
It's strange, yeah. Usually Lucas, at least for 45 minutes, he's going to be, that he's going to be fast, and he's going to be sharp, but he just didn't have it from the first minute at all. Didn't seem up for it. Marçal had an easy time against him. He was very easily dispossessed whenever he had the ball, and also I noticed whenever he tried to pass or something, he was giving it away, really
just
sloppily.
Constantly giving it away, yeah.
Sloppily. The only good thing he did was he played a lovely pass into Bergwijn, which Bergwijn should have squared it to Ali. That should have been a goal, so he gets points for that, but other than that, really disappointing and underwhelming display from Lucas, who a lot of people, especially after pre-season and his first game, are expecting a lot from him this season.
Yeah.
And just a shame that second game in, that was a poor performance.
Yeah, definitely. Which moves us on to the last of the starting 11, HeungMin Son. We gave him a 5. I don't want to play him down too much, because obviously he went off injured in the warm-up with the with the physios just before everyone else went in, was deemed fit enough to play, and there wasn't really anything in it to take him out of the game. I didn't really notice it, but a lot of people were saying that he was moving around the pitch quite gingerly and not moving as freely as he usually does. But having said that, he did make one really nice run into the box where the old Sonny of last game or last season definitely would have slotted that into the goal. It wasn't a goal, but he didn't really impact that positively throughout the game, and he was rightly taken off, to be honest.
Yeah, he struggled. I felt like he struggled. First of all, I felt like he struggled because we kept playing long balls to him, and he had three centre-backs on him pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
Struggled to get any joy out of any of them. Didn't find any space on the counter-attack. We weren't really playing any through balls to him, which was a problem. And, maybe, I'm not sure about the injury. I mean, obviously, Ali Gold mentioned it after the game. He was moving gingerly and stuff. So maybe there was also something to that as well, why he's a bit anonymous in this one. But unfortunately, there were a few times he was able to link the play nicely. But other than that, he wasn't really involved, especially in the final third, apart from the one time when Bergwijn had that shot we talked about, and then Sonny was the one following up, and then he had a nice interchange with Bergwijn, but his follow-up shot was blocked, unfortunately. Yeah. And it wasn't until Harry Kane came on where we had a real presence in the final third, where we did seem to get a semblance of control into the game. So maybe that's a piece of evidence there as to why, as much as Sonny can definitely be an option up front, can you rely on him like week in, week out up front when you've got big centre-backs coming in and they're going to plan for him? It's different. I don't know. I'm like he's got his qualities. Amazing finisher, amazing pace, can run in behind, and I think as well he can bring people into play. But his fortes are not holding the ball up, winning long balls, winning duels, stuff like that. That's not his forte. And
Which is something we needed yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the problem.
Yeah, agreed. Which moves us on to the substitutes. Giovanni La Celso came on in the 67th minute for Lucas Moura. We gave him a 6. I thought he put himself about well, Lucas Moura. He was trying to travel the ball as well from midfield to attack. Sorry, La Celso. Who did I say?
Lucas Moura.
Lucas Moura. La Celso. I thought he did okay when he come on. Probably expecting a bit better from Gio, seeing as, that performance he put in on Thursday. Really expected more as well. I would like to see him given a run in the team, but you just can't take out any of those three in midfield at the moment.
Yeah, I actually think he did all right when he came on, and I think he was part of the reason why in the last 20 minutes or so things calmed down a bit. We weren't as under pressure as we were for the majority of the game, and I think he was actually one of the only players actually willing to play some football, get the ball on the deck, play some short interchanges.
He was trying to drive us forward, wasn't he?
Yeah, and it was a lot more positive in terms of just being able to keep the ball on the deck and getting ball to feet and quick interchanges, and that was good. So I was happy with that. I don't think he set the world alight or anything like that, but I think he came on and made some challenges, helped the team, and that's all he could do. I think it was a decent cameo.
Definitely. And Harry Kane, we gave him a 7, came on for HeungMin on the 72nd minute. This is what we've all been waiting for so long, to see Harry Kane back in a Spurs shirt, and he did not disappoint. I mean, as HeungMin did disappoint, I thought Harry Kane came on, gave us a really good presence up there, and I think the momentum in the game really switched when Harry Kane came on, and I think it gave us... I wasn't really worried in those last 15 minutes when Harry Kane was on the pitch, as opposed to the kind of 70 minutes before that where I was worrying the whole game.
Yeah.
So I think Harry Kane relieved the pressure from us. Should have scored, but I'm not going to mark him too much down on that. It's just good to see him back in a Spurs shirt again.
Yeah, we had a player who finally made it stick up there, didn't we? Before Sonny was struggling, and then Kane, all of a sudden they had a different battle on their hands, Wolves players, and he was able to hold players off, get passes. I'm pretty sure he made the pass to Højbjerg as well, who when he nearly scored. So that was also a good moment. And I think, a really good, really positive impact he made on the team when he came on. We just looked a lot more assured of ourselves when he was on the pitch, and we spent a lot more time in the Wolves half as opposed to when he wasn't on the pitch as well. So good impact. I wouldn't say we were all of a sudden a better team when he came on, but he definitely improved Tottenham, that's for sure. And so I'm very happy with him being back on the pitch. I'm happy that the away fans gave him a great reception. He was welcome back. So looks like he's going to be here next for the season to come, and it didn't look like a player on the pitch that wasn't happy to be there.
No, and a big hug with Nuno after the game as well, which was great to see. The last sub on the day was Winks coming on for Steven Bergwijn on the 90th minute, and I think we all feared the worst when we saw that substitution happening.
Yeah, but it was only a minute, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
a minute's a long time in football sometimes, but look, it didn't impact the game. And last but not least, Nuno, we're going to give him a 7. Same lineup as he chose against Man City, which we all said that would happen. And I think he did well managing the game. I think first half, Wolves were completely all over us. Adama was completely terrorising us down that Tanganga's side. And I think that he made the changes at halftime, the tactical changes to combat that. Højbjerg was a big change in that second half, really helping out Jaff in the second half. And I think that the way he managed the game was spot on. Yes, Wolves did kind of pepper us for the whole game. But having said that, the defensive setup was spot on. We didn't concede many chances, and we had the best chances in the game. So for all Wolves' dominance, we probably should have had more goals.
Yeah, I agree, and I think at the end of the day, he did get his. I think the tactics maybe he could have changed things a bit earlier. I would have been tempted. Look, I would have been tempted to go to a back three at half time after how much we struggled. I think on the counter we looked decent, but I got to say, the way we handled the ball in possession was a bit of a worry, and I think he's got to think about how we approach games when we have. I think when we skip Højbjerg and Dele against Man City in that kind of game was perfect. In this kind of game, it did okay, but I think on the ball, when different things are required, when you need someone to get on the ball, I think that was lacking a bit. So it's something to think about. But other than that, I think apart from maybe he could have changed things a bit sooner, like for example, maybe I would have got Kane on earlier for Son. Maybe he waited a bit long for that. But other than that, I think he got his tactics right by and large, and I think he managed the game fairly well. Made a few different things, helped the team out where they needed in different positions, and I think at the end of the day, end up getting the 3 points. I think there's just a bit of room for improvement there.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of room for improvement, let's be honest. But I think that the one thing I would say is that if we were playing a better side, if we were playing one of the top 4 sides in that game
Chelsea
yesterday,
basically play a back three.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if we were playing a Chelsea, if we were playing a Liverpool, if we were playing Man United, even Man City, if we were playing one of those teams and they were peppering us as much as they did yesterday, that we would have lost the game. We would have lost the game with the amount of times we were letting them in, and because it was only because of Traore's kind of bad end product is why they didn't get more out of the game.
Yeah, that was a big reason. And not just him. I don't think it was just Traore. I think a few of them. Marçal, the amount of times he had crosses in, and he wasn't able to find anyone with his crosses, was also a big reason. And then I think a few times I got to the byline, and to be fair, I think good defending from us, and not a lack of conviction I felt going forward from Wolves was their undoing, but it wasn't for the lack of trying. But I think Nuno, end of the day, will be happy with the 3 points.
Yeah, and I'm liking that he's bringing out all this effort within the Spurs squad as well. There's like no passengers on the pitch anymore, and that's exactly what we were calling for a lot of last season. So big up Nuno, big up Tottenham. 2 wins from 2, a perfect start to the season. No goals conceded as of yet. That is our player ratings. Let me know your player ratings in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.